Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another broadcast from Elaine's Extreme Paranormal channel. Tonight we have a very special guest. Her name is
GEETA Galloway.
GEETA Galloway. Sorry.
It's okay. It's a mouthful.
That was dandy, wasn't it? Anyway, would you please take a minute to give us some information regarding yourself?
Actually, my entire life, I've been drawn to the paranormal and trying to understand just how things work, not only on a spiritual, but also on a scientific level. You know, because I actually believe that someday that God could actually be explained scientifically. But anyways, so with that pondering of those things, I've come up with my own theory of how I believe, because I'm an empath, and how I believe empaths works and how energy works and how auras work and everything. So that's pretty much how I came about that.
So how long?
So these are pretty much my opinion.
Yeah. So how long have you known that you have empathic abilities?
I think since I was about maybe 20-ish. So.
Okay. Like myself, I don't know, you're probably aware of it, but you may be, I don't know. But I fought against it for years. I had these strange feelings all my life that there was something strange going on and I couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't until my 65th year that it was discovered that I am indeed an empath. So I just wondered if you had that same kind of a struggle.
No, it's kind of like I learned what an empath was, and it was before the internet. So I learned what an empath was through reading a book. You know, I happened to find a book, and then I related a lot with what it said. And that's pretty much how I went from there. And then, of course, there is a struggle over many years. It takes, I don't know, it took me like, I want to say 10 years or so just to learn how to control it, learn how to block certain things and everything.
Right, I can just imagine. I know, like I fought against it, I should say, for years. I fought for the feeling of trying to feel normal, but somehow I just couldn't until I accepted the fact that I am an empath. Now things are starting to come around.
Well, I've always accepted the fact that I'm not normal.
Are any of us?
So I am probably a lot further from normal than most people. But yeah, I've already came to terms, that I wasn't really like the average person. I mean, because I had like an experience when I was 12 with seeing thing like a spirit, something. I don't even know what it was. It could have been an alien for all I know. I have no idea. It was some kind of shadow in the window, but it was an invisible creature.
Was this in your home?
From that to, so like, I grew up abused actually, and so therefore I always want to know why. So my entire life, all I've ever wanted to know is why this, why that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with this vision that you saw, or vision, or person, or alien, whatever, did you see that like from a window in your own home at the time, or was this at another place?
I was 12, and I was just in bed at night and trying to go to sleep.
And this was at your home?
Yes, when I was growing up. And okay. We had like a street lamp that shined in, but we lived in the country. And it kind of like, how it shines through the window and leaves a reflection.
Yeah.
And actually, so I could see out of the window and I could see the things outside plus the street lamp. And I could see there was a reflection. The reflection of the blinds, the lines and everything is on my door and the wall. So I saw a shadow, and it was moving around, and there was nothing outside. And I actually got the courage to get up and go look and see, and there was nothing there. I thought maybe it was some of my friends playing a trick on me.
Right.
Or messing with me. So I would like even crack the window and started calling out. I'm like, hey, come out of there, whatever you're doing. But it was still there, and it moved around like back and forth and then just left.
So what did it look like?
It just looked like a shadow on my wall. I didn't see anything out the window.
Oh, sorry, I guess I misunderstood you. I thought you said you saw something or someone looking in your window.
No, I saw the shadow of someone looking through my window, but there was nobody there.
Okay.
So I have no idea. It was not very tall. I'd have to say it was probably about 4.5, maybe 4 feet tall. And it
Mm-hmm.
had a slender head. I didn't really see any like defined hair or anything. It was just a round head. But of course I remember it vividly. And also when I was really young, um, I started, I went to church and everything. And what, because I was abused, I actually wanted to commit suicide, but I actually, you know, had heard the voice of God, or what would be the voice of God. I imagine it would be an angel, um, telling me not to, not, I can't die. Plus, I was trying to die from holding my breath, which you can't do, but I was only 5. And so it's kind of silly now, but, um, and so I think that's pretty much all that kept me going through many of the years of the abuse. And then once I got away from my family, I just started looking at everything. I wanted to know every religion, everything. I studied many religions. I think it's much more than most people would, like especially starting from 17.
Okay. Like I know myself, like I've studied an awful lot of religious cults and how they operate. And it's really interesting just to know how they all operate, how similar they are, that kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
Did you
And
study
I'm kind
religious
of
cults or mainstream religions?
Yeah, I'm really glad that I actually did do that because then I actually know, what they're all about. So when I'm actually confronted by them, I know what to say.
Yes. Did you study
You know,
mainstream religions or religious cults?
Mainstream religions mostly, and also like witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
When I think I started when I was about, just trying to think. I want to say like 19, 18, 19, until 2004, actually. I know exactly. It's April in 2004. And then I had a divine intervention. But either way, actually, I had been working with demons. And so I got very familiar with the feeling of them, their energy. And so I know how they feel, like their energy feels. And I guess that started, giving me a clue of empaths. Also, I've been able to read other people, their feelings, their intentions toward me, and everything.
Like when you studied witchcraft and that, like were you studying it for the effect of practicing it or just to find out what they did? Not that I'm or anything. I
I
just
kind of practiced it a little bit, but not really. I wasn't really into doing too many things or anything with it. I guess it was more, I was studying it, and I considered myself a witch, really, but I didn't really like do spells or anything very much. I mean, I think I did maybe like 4 or 5 altogether, all which worked.
for the positive or the negative?
Hmm.
For the positive or the negative?
Um, well, the whole thing about spells is that what I believe in, because I'm also a demonologist, but I'm trying not to get too much into the demonology thing because your last week's host was from or demonology. Um, but it's
No, I mean the
what I
spells that you
believe. My
cast.
theory is because I've been trying to study the paranormal in general, not just being empathic, but the paranormal in general. It's all connected. Actually, everything is connected in this entire world. Everything is connected. I mean, we're connected to God. We're connected. You and I are connected. Everything's connected. Everything's cause and effect, and then on top of that, through a web of energy.
Yeah. I mean the spells that you cast, did you have positive results from them or did any of them renege on you in any way?
Mm, Well, what happens is that a demon carries out spells, whereas when you pray, an angel would carry out your prayer. If you, it's like praying is not much different from doing a spell, and essentially, but you're using a different force, and this is my opinion. And when you pray, you know, you're calling out to God, and angels carry out your prayers. However, when you're a witch and you're doing a spell, you're basically calling out to Satan, I guess, or the devil, or whatever word people like to use for the negative entity, and and the evil entity carries out the thing. Now they can carry out good things and have good things happen. However, they come with a price. And the price is that they want something from you. However, most people who do spells don't understand that it's not threefold. The threefold thing is not true. What is true is that eventually that demon wants something from you. And it just also gives them like a gateway to also to oppress and possess you in the end.
Well, this is what I'm wondering, because when you said that you had cast certain spells, obviously, excuse me, like if you're using witchcraft, so then to whom were you asking to complete those spells?
It would be demons.
Excuse me, sorry.
It's all right. It would be demons. That's what does that. And I know that, I mean, a lot of Wiccans are not going to be happy if there's anybody watching of me saying that, but it's actually true. I've also not only been studying Christianity, I've also studied the Gosha, and which is the lesser and the greater key of Solomon. And I've also read all of the Nag Hammadi library and all the Dead Sea Scrolls, and not to mention many Bibles, and even the Jehovah's Witness books, and I've read all these different books.
Okay, like reading books is one thing. That's great. You can certainly get an awful lot of information from
studying.
Excuse me again. I got a frog in my throat. But when you were saying that you wanted to practice witchcraft, or that you were trying to practice witchcraft, did you know what you were doing in the spells, or were you just like guessing to see how it would turn out, or what?
I didn't really understand that it was a demon. I mean, I knew I had a demon around with me, but I didn't know that it was the demons always carrying out the thing in the beginning. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that at the time. I think a lot of people don't.
So do you still practice it, or are you strictly
no
that, or
no, I'm strictly I believe in God, and I actually do God's will. So I don't believe that and many other people's opinion may vary, but I don't also believe that a Wiccan can remove a demon from a home or person. They could possibly temporarily cover it up or make it go away for a small period of time, but it doesn't actually permanently get rid of it.
Well, okay, myself being a Christian, I find that any Christian who does pray to God in Jesus' name can remove demonic entities.
Yes, they can.
I think it's remain removed.
And it says clearly in the Bible that any lay person can actually do that. But anyways, I would like to get back to the energy with empathy. So this is my theory of how empathy works. I'm going to try to start from the beginning. Okay, we all have a body, and we have a heart, and our heart pumps. And do we even really know why our heart pumps blood? You know, we're having electrodes and everything, our brain's telling our heart to pump. However, in return, we're also moving blood through our bodies. And as the blood moves through our bodies, we're also creating kinetic energy, which actually radiates from your body and is aura. However, through this energy, we create not only an aura, the energy is also a sound. And it's a sound we can't hear. And that is like that. That's why when you read about in the Bible, all the things about, the choirs and everything like that, songs, sound is a big deal in the Bible and with a lot of religions that believe in God and Jesus. And, so there are choirs. And I mean, obviously the sound there's a big thing with sound. And so therefore the sound of like our emotions, they have sound, they have vibrations, and a vibration is a sound. And so when you have a positive emotion, you vibrate higher. And when you have a negative emotion, you vibrate lower. Now, then on top of that, we're all like magnetic creatures. We're I don't know, it's like the planet's a magnet and gravity. We're actually magnets because we have the water in us and everything, and we have all different kinds of minerals and everything. And otherwise, I don't think we would stick to the planet very well. I don't know how you want to put it through the water. But either way, there's water in the air. I mean, our emotions, they create a sound. And it's just like, with a crystal glass with water in it, the less water there is in it, the lower it vibrates and the higher it is when the glass is full. So that would be the same for emotions. So the more love you feel, the higher you vibrate, and the more negative you feel, the lower you vibrate. And so that's how you bring in, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard this before, where you bring in what you think and feel. So if you feel negative, you're gonna draw in negative people to you.
Like you reap what you sow, in other words. So you sow
negative, what?
You'll get negativity back. If you think positive, you will get positive results. If you think negative,
yes, that's actually true.
Yes,
it's actually very true. I mean, negative things still can happen to you, but the final outcome is more likely. Like I believe it increases if you try not to even think about anything bad happening. Say like you really want, like you're trying to accomplish something and you really want it to happen for you. If you sit around thinking, oh, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, most likely it's not going to happen. One of two things. There's actually two reasons for that. One is for self-fulfilled prophecy, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. And then the other thing is also because of the negative energy that you're putting out. Because you get back what you put out. And through this energy that we emit from our bodies is how we're all connected to this planet. And to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe probably everyone can be empaths, but most people aren't very aware, if that makes sense.
An awful lot of people do have empathic ability, but they don't recognize it. Look, I know I didn't, as I say, until my 65th year of life. And for years I fought against it, thinking that I was strange, thinking there was something mentally wrong with me because I had all these feelings, being overwhelmed by people's thoughts, sometimes reading people's minds, that kind of a thing, knowing what was going to happen in the first, before it happened. Like, I know that's not necessarily empathic. That's more or less like precognition.
Well, sometimes, when one thing is turned on in the brain, something else is. But however, I still do believe, just like a lot of people have said, a lot of psychic type people have said that everybody has the capability of doing that. We all have brains.
Yes.
So
and I know when I was younger too, I used to have psychic abilities pretty strongly. Now they're starting to return, not near as much as what they were, but since I've accepted my abilities as an empath, which is a God-given gift,
yes,
for years I figured that it was a curse, and it's not. And so that was why I fought against it, because religion told me that if you're a Christian, you shouldn't have anything to do with paranormal. Well, it's because I'm a Christian that I do have to do with the paranormal, and I try to help other people.
That's the same for me. And actually, I think the difference is that if you actually think that the ability is for you, like you have it, I don't believe that I have any particular ability any different than anyone else. It's just that God has chosen me to give me that ability, and God can give it to me, and God can actually take it away at any time.
Sure. Yeah.
So God, I believe that God has given us the ability to do certain things, some of us, and I think the closer we are to God, the more maybe empathic we can be. The more love you feel, the higher you'd vibrate. So the closer you got to God, actually be, because God actually is the highest vibration.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if it wasn't for God, none of us would be here. Because I
Yeah,
don't go along
exactly.
with Big Bang Theory. I never have. And there's so many
Oh
programs out
no.
there that say, oh, yes, all the planets collided, and that's how the world was formed, and that's how humans were formed, and all this stuff. Yeah, I don't believe it.
Oh no, and it's actually pretty. If you think about it, it's pretty pointless to even think about it.
For sure. I mean, good grief. And when you consider
It's
all
a
the...
complete waste of time because we're never gonna know. We're never gonna know the answer.
No. The
We're
same
never
as
gonna
man...
know. It's totally a waste of time.
Right. Same as man doesn't know when the world's going to end. Like, how many times, for
And
example...
people are trying to predict it.
Oh, yeah. One particular religion has
That's
always said, oh,
hilarious.
yes, the end is going to come such and such a day, and it hasn't happened. Nobody knows, not even Jesus knows, and the Bible even says that.
Yeah, it says it. Only God knows. So why are people even trying to predict? Why do they think the answer would even be in the Bible?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't believe it would be.
So, okay, getting back to empaths again, what do you think about the feelings of being tired all the time? Do you think that has anything to do with shielding and grounding? Or do you think it has anything to do with anything else?
I think it could to an extent. Um, I do have health issues um, that contribute to me being tired. I actually used to make a huge amount of energy. I don't think I do so much now, only different times. I think, and I believe it has to do with your blood pressure, your heart rate. It's scientific, so like the
Okay,
more
so you are an
kinetic
empath
energy.
yourself?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so how
And
in particular
and
do you
I've
shield and ground then, if you don't mind my asking?
um well, first off, it's become automatic. I mean, I'm trying to remember how I very first started doing it. There was instructions. uh it's like I don't even know how I do it anymore. I just kind of have a wall that I put up. It's like you're ignoring someone. It's like you can be walking through a crowd of people and you're ignoring everyone, and you are in your own world. A lot of times you can just be playing a song in your head. That can help also with people who are overly clairvoyant and aren't very well, like can't control it very well. Listen to a song in
Like
your head.
myself, when I shield and ground, um, I picture like a balloon completely encompassing me from head to toe. And it's dark at first, and it's off the ground. Then I mentally envision white light coming into that balloon, and it circulates all the way through and around the balloon until you can see through it. You can see me in this balloon, and then the silver cord, because when I was bilocated, I was seen with this silver cord. So
Yeah.
to me, the silver cord goes through the head, down through my entire body, through my arms, down through my legs, down to my feet, into the ground, and then the bubble comes down to the ground. And that's how I shield and ground every morning.
Okay. Um, um, and actually, and that has to do with the chakra, the chakras. I'm
In
not a big believer in Reiki or anything, but I do believe that we do have chakras and it is energy related, and that there is a scientific thing to it, which actually helps us communicate with God, you know. But as far as all of the Reiki stuff, I'm not really into all of that, but I know that I had learned to open and close certain chakras, so therefore, um, I think that's how not, and then on top of that, I always imagine. myself. I started off what I used to do is imagine myself surrounded by white light. But then I tend to get carried away, and then I start surrounding everything with white light. Then I start surrounding the house with white light, and then I start surrounding the whole planet with white light.
Well, I don't think you can
That,
really have too much white light, let's face it.
but it keeps going and going. But I mean, it has a lot to do with when I come face to face with people, I can tell if they're lying or not. Also by how they're feeling, you know, when they're feeling towards me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually try to stay out of people's minds because I actually can go into people's minds, and actually you can go in and make other people have particular thoughts. But it's actually really bad, and it's actually can be damaging to the person's brain. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's you can do it. I've done it.
I haven't heard of an empath trying to influence another person's brain to damage them, no.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I can. I've done it. Um, it takes like some people are harder to get into than others. Some people are easier. You know, it depends on how well they're guarded. But you can definitely influence people, and
Like, I know you can influence people, yes, but to
you can
influence
make
them
them think
to
things, and you can make them feel
damage them,
things.
I have never attempted that, nor did I even know anything about an empath ever doing that.
Well, it's all connected. The clairvoyance, the empath, everything is connected. Once you're tuned into that web, you know, of energy, I mean, you could whatever God decides to tell you. Once you're open to God and open to all of those the synchronicities and to all of God's messages, you're able to do many things as long as you're
Well,
serving
that's
God.
true. But I mean, as an empath, I doubt very much that God would say, well, put something in someone's mind to harm them. You
No,
sure
no,
that's not
that's
the
why I
case?
don't do that. No, that's what I did it when I was really young as an experiment, if that makes sense. I don't do that now, but that's how I found out I can do it.
Okay, anything
You
else?
can anything else? Uh, what that I could do? I mean, I communicate
Well, in
with
reference
God, but
the
I don't
empath
know.
ability.
It's all connected. It's like I really am into M theory, and I believe that M theory is going to explain the existence of God scientifically.
The
However,
M
I
theory.
think that yeah, M theory. I don't know. Have you ever heard of string theory? It's theoretical physics.
No, not in particular as far as empathic ability goes, no.
Well, well, in M theory, we're all in like M is like membrane. They kind of have a joke about what it means. It's actually from Einstein. The ability to it's supposed to be like the relative explanation for everything, not just gravity, you know, or any
Are you
one
referring to the
particular
theory of
thing.
evolution? Is that what you're referring to?
No, the theory of everything. That's what M theory is supposed to end up being, but they're still working on it. However, and this is what I believe, is I believe that they're going to be able to, once they finally solve M theory, in the end, they're going to find God. And I think, I want to say it was Stephen Hawking said something about it recently. I'm not sure. I know that um, someone said, one of the theoretical physicists said recently, even though Stephen Hawking's not a theoretical physicist, um, I don't think totally, not like how other people are, but I was like, I think that was a blonde moment there for me to say that. But they said that I believe that once they solve the M theory, that when they will find God there, and then they'll start to understand everything, understand a lot of things. However, I believe that before they discover, they will actually, if they discover M theory, and I believe they would discover M theory before they can prove like the Big Bang theory or how evolution began. So I believe that they'll actually discover M theory and the existence of God scientifically before they'll actually even understand how we came to be in evolution wise.
Well, I mean, as Christians go, the Bible itself tells us that God exists and that God created the world and all the other planets, etc., etc. So, I mean, why do they need something like the M theory? This is what I cannot understand. Sorry.
The M theory is, well, what I like about it is that I like having scientific explanations for many things. I don't believe that we just magically have things. I don't really believe that there's magic. I think that there's other parts of the world that we're not seeing, and they're real, and they're just as real as anything else. And who are we to say that just because what we can see, of what our eyes can see, which we can't even see all the spectrums of color. Many people can't even see all different colors and different in mass. I mean, other creatures perceive different things as different, animals like bees and everything. They see things different than we do, so they're obviously have a different reality than we do. So just because this is what we see and this is what we believe is our reality, isn't necessarily reality. I believe that there's way more than this reality that we're just seeing with our eyes, and it's very real, and it can be scientifically explained. And once it can be scientifically explained, it will be more accepted.
Well, fortunately, it is more accepted nowadays as far as speaking of the paranormal is concerned, which is a good thing. I know when I grew up, it was not a good thing. You had to keep that quiet or people would think you were crazy. But I had a very interesting dream last night. You might be interested in this. I don't know. But for some time, I've been trying to contact Queen Anne Boleyn.
Okay.
And I had an interesting dream last night in which I was in the Tower of London, and I saw her ghost, and she looked at me very coldly at first, and then she recognized me. And then she smiled, said, "Hello, Elaine," and then just walked on. Now that I thought was pretty interesting.
That's because you were her sister in a past life.
What's that?
I believe you were her sister in a past life.
I was Mary?
No, you were one of her sisters. She had more than one sister. I don't believe you were Mary. It was the other one. Who's the other one? I can't remember her name.
Well, she had a sister Mary. She had a brother George.
Yeah, I thought she had another half-sister. Oh, that was Elizabeth, wasn't it?
Well, her half-sister would have been Elizabeth.
Yes.
Excuse me. Her half-sister would have been Mary from Henry and Catherine of Aragon's marriage. Okay. Mary, who was later known as Bloody Mary, after Henry died, when she came to the throne. And then after Bloody Mary died, then Elizabeth, who was Anne Boleyn's daughter, ascended to the throne.
Okay. So all I got is that you're her sister. You're her sister and she recognized you. And it would explain why. I actually do believe in past lives.
No.
I think that and it's kind of weird because most people who believe in God and Jesus and everything don't believe in past lives. And I'll say why I believe in past lives is because actually, and in Christianity, there used to be past lives. And I believe that God doesn't just give us one chance to do the right thing. However, there is people who do really bad things. Oh, this is so complex. All right, here. Okay, let me try to explain what I believe happens to souls and what my theory on ghosts and everything is that actually I do believe in what is it called? I can't think of the word for some reason. A recording. repeating haunting. It's like they're doing the same thing over and over again. I can't remember what it's called. I know what it is, but I just can't think of it, the name of it right now. You know, like it's recorded at the place,
Yeah,
even though.
like a ghost that keeps repeating over and over what they did prior to when they
Yeah,
passed on.
yeah. There's
A
a name for
residual,
it.
a residual haunting.
Yeah, a residual haunting. Yes, I do believe in residual hauntings, and that's actually very possible because of emotions. Like I was saying, is energy, and it's just like and everything and things being magnetic, and there being water, and things can actually there's even water in the air, so things can actually be imprinted on places. I actually heard a story where a woman had owned this one house, and the people, kind of knew her, not super well, but they knew like about of her. They were, they knew each other a little bit, and she sold the house to this couple, and at one point the couple saw her running through the house and then disappear. And so they're like, oh my gosh, she must have died, you know? And so they call up the family to, say, I'm sorry, we saw this and that. And they said, no, she's fine. She's alive. So she wasn't dead. So if what happened? If she's not dead, how is she haunting the house?
Well, if she's not dead, then how could she be haunting? I mean, a
Exactly.
residual haunting is a
That
person
was
who has passed and
no,
then
I
is
don't believe
seen.
that residual haunting can happen without the person being passed.
Okay.
That's what I believe. It's all it is an imprint. You don't have to die in order for it to take effect. It's an imprint. It's a
But if
overwhelming
you're
of
not dead
emotions
and
of
you're
a
seen elsewhere,
huh?
you're bilocated. Huh? If you're not dead and you're seen elsewhere, you're bilocated. That's what happened to me, and I was witnessed by 3 separate people on the same occasion.
Yes, that can happen. That's not the same thing. If you did you purposely try to bilocate? Were you
No,
sleeping
no,
or
it just
anything?
happened.
Were you meditating?
Nope. I
Then
was in bed,
you
but I was awake, and it simply happened that I was bilocated, and the people described the following morning when they came exactly what I was wearing. So it was nothing intentional, but that's what
and
I'm
you're
referring to when I say the silver cord. That was what was attached to my
yeah.
body when I left the
Were
building.
you off doing something else, or were you sleeping? What were you doing while you were bilocating?
I was walking up the road past my neighbors. They all saw me and waved hello. I waved back,
No, I
but
mean,
I was
what you were you doing, and what was your physical body doing?
lying in bed.
Okay, so that is yes, that is
I
bilocation.
got up to my body out of the
That is a
bed,
little
but I
different
was
though.
not. But a residual haunting.
A residual haunting is only a traumatic or very emotional event that has imprinted itself on a specific area to replay over and
Yeah,
over again. So,
they
in
have to be
theory,
dead
if you
in
really
order
think
to
about it,
let
you
go.
don't have to die in order for it to happen. You just have to have a traumatic event happen in a specific place that was emotionally charged that would imprint itself. It's like saying that you can't record on a CD or a tape cassette because that's how it's like how you record things on tape cassettes, the strips like VHS and everything, how they record things on them. That's like saying that nobody can watch the VHS until the people that are recorded on it died, which isn't true.
Well, to
To
each
me
his
it's
own
very
belief.
scientific. It's like
But
it's
anyway,
just me, giving scientific, you know
your opinion.
explanations, theories of what I believe um, causes that. And okay, so that just explains um, that kind of haunting. The other thing is I believe is that there's not actually ghosts that just haunt a house. That if you go and you read and you watch every single person's story, and I've seen as many as I could find, including in books and online and everywhere, personal experiences, um, every story that you've ever heard of the ghost story, that you'll find that, like say a haunting or paranormal witness or whatever, somebody walked in, and oh, there was a negative entity, almost 9 times out of 10, nobody's saying that, there was all happy and everything was wonderful and the spirit was perfectly wonderful and they just wanted to help it cross over. That's not what the stories are about. Usually there's something negative going on there. And sometimes they try to say it was a negative person. However,
Okay,
I believe that with every person who is died, who has died under a demonic influence, is trapped by that demon in that specific place. And then the demon has like a place like that it's controlling, and then it actually tries to collect more people. It keeps trying to collect souls, and that in turn, that is what could be known, for a lack of better word, purgatory. So people, I believe, do go to a form of purgatory, which would be a waiting place for the very negative people.
Okay, but our topic tonight is supposed to be energies and emotions in the empath.
Yes, and that's what I was saying, though, is that
how is this discussion leading towards
the energy.
That end? How is this discussion leading towards that end regarding energies and emotions in the empath and how they work? Like, that's supposed to be our topic of discussion for tonight.
Yes, but what I was saying is that the energy is what, like I was saying, the past life. I mean, not the past life. You were telling me about a dream, but it made me think about the past life thing. But for residual hauntings, that would be energy to me. That's an energy thing. It's like an empath thing. It's like you're creating energy. Your body creates energy. Everybody has energy and an aura, and you know what I'm saying? And our emotions have vibrations, and they can leave imprints. And that's also how when we as empaths walks up to another person, no matter what. I mean, if we open ourselves, we can feel what they are feeling. And actually, there's actually like a spigot for me, and I can actually let in only a little bit or a lot, or even try to get.
As an empath myself, mm-hmm. I have had people come up to me, total strangers, tell me exactly, literally, their entire life's history, their health problems, their marital problems, their all kinds of problems. And they don't know me from Adam. And yet, for some strange reason, I seem to attract these people. They talk to me. They give me all kinds of information that I don't ask for.
Well, like that's what I mean. I was saying, it's your vibration. It's the energy you're putting out.
I'm picking up my energies and my emotions,
yes. Yes.
But that's because I'm an empath, and they may not be.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like I was saying, I believe everyone is magnetic. You see what I'm saying? Everyone's like a magnetic entity. See, just pretend like we're all magnets that have brains and feelings, and a magnet has like what you were saying, how you saw a circular thing going down through your head and around you. That's exactly, if you look at a diagram of a magnet online, that's exactly what it looks like. That's what that does. Like, so when you're being negative, you're actually like a magnet that's flipped over and it's pushing things away.
When I see the silver going through my body, like through the top of my head and down to my feet, that's when I'm grounding.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with negative feelings, though. When I ground and shield, I'm protecting myself from the influences from the outside world to myself, because it can overwhelm me as an empath. So I have to ground and shield, or shield and ground, however they call it. Some prefer to call it ground and shield. Some call it shield and ground. But I have to do that every day, or I would be overwhelmed by it all.
Well, what I believe is that, it's good that you do that every day. I hope that someday that you can get to the point where you don't feel like you have to do that every day, and that you can control it.
An empath has to do that every day.
Well, it's all about it's like, it can become like like how you learn how you breathe. You don't think about breathing. For
No,
me, I
that's
don't even
not an
think about
honest
it.
function. But as an empath, you have to protect yourself from the influences
Of course you
around you.
do.
So it's something that you really have to do every day.
Well, I don't actually have to do a visualization where I'm imagining myself being grounded.
Okay.
So, I have a way to let things in or out just a small amount. And that has to do with being able to control energy, which is, I think, the PSI energy. Um, I don't know if a lot of people believe in PSI energy, but it's the energy that is used in telekinesis. And in theory,
Well,
we should be able to
telekinesis
use
is the art of being
telekinesis,
able to
but
make things move of your mind's will.
well, it's not your mind's will, it's actually your energy. You're
Well, your
pushing it
energy,
with
yes,
energy
but
that
your
your
mind's
body's making.
will has to kind of control that. Say, if I wanted to move this glass over to that side, shall we say, it would have to be my mind's energy that makes that move.
Well, you're not going to just sit there and say, okay, glass, move, or you're
No,
going to like visually imagine
or
the glass moving. You're going to actually try to physically use your energy that's in your body. And I don't know if you've ever tried to take your energy and channel it. Have you ever tried to do that?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so imagine you're channeling your energy without touching anything, but like your hand would to pick up a glass and then move it somewhere else, you know? But instead of using your actual hand, which is just mass with
Yes, which
energy.
is describing telekinesis, which is just what you were talking about.
Yes, and that's exactly the same. It's the same energy, too. It's all connected to being empathic. I mean, it's not a very easy thing to do. I mean, I believe it must take quite a lot of energy. And I think that we're just not aware of our bodies and ourselves enough in order to control it, to do it. I believe that our brains have the capability to do it, but maybe we're not evolved enough. I mean, I'm not sitting here acting like I know all the answers. But I'm sure there's reasons, maybe we just, I do know one thing though, is as we were saying before about M theory and everything like that and how they'll find God, they want to find a theory of everything. And the thing is that, I don't know, have you heard the story about the peanut?
About what?
What's his name? John Washington Carter? Is that his name? Washington Carter? He's an
I'm not getting the
African
name.
American
Sorry.
fellow. Washington Carter. The
No,
peanut. Peanut butter.
no.
Okay. You don't know the story of that?
No.
Okay. Well, in history, um, he I can't remember exactly what it was. That was why God decided to reward him, and he asked him to request something, and he asked to know everything. And he said, well, our brains are incapable of knowing everything, so just pick one thing to know everything about. And he picked the peanut. And that's supposedly, God gave Washington Carter the secrets of the peanut. That is the story. You can Google it. It's on Wikipedia. You know, uh, so in our history, we have peanut butter because of God, which I think is kind of funny. Is
Okay,
there
thank you.
anybody on asking questions?
No. Anyway,
Okay.
I see our time is running on. I guess we'd better sign off for the night. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, and if anybody has, any questions or anything, and I mean, they could feel free to message me, GEETA Galloway. I'm the only one on Facebook. And if you need any help with anything or want to just talk about things that you have theories of, I'm always open to it.
Okay, thank you very much. You take care. Bye for now.
God bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you coming in to the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. And please remember, folks, our theme song is Only You, and it's only for you that we put this show on. You, our viewers. Okay, you take care. Bye for now. God bless.